we are on a 45-foot, nay, 46.5-foot Lagoon 450 catamaran. And today, we're doing a boat tour, baby. Parlay is a hurricane-damaged catamaran rebuilt over the past 5 years by this guy.
Hi, I'm Colin, and this is my career. Okay, because we're a YouTube channel, this is where all the editing happens. We usually have 3 or 4 laptops going at one time, everyone trying to make videos for you guys. Not a lot else happens in here, to be honest. This is the saloon.
Is it salon or saloon? All I know is that no matter what I say, somebody in the comments below will tell me that it's the other one. Anyways, our salons are pretty much the same, aside from the fact that we rock our tabletop bare while Parlay has a nice cloth cover. This is the place where there's always somebody hanging out. It's the living room, dining room, family room, shop, and office equivalent in a normal house. And since our forward cabins on both sides are still completely out of commission, this is where the 2 big kids sleep. We remove those back rests right there, throw down some sheets, and they sleep head to head. Quite fitting because that is exactly where I slept on the entire Pacific Passage. But I'll give you a tour of that in a little bit.
This here is the galley. This is where we do all of our cooking. Got a brand new fridge with the 160-litre drawers that come out. Big freezer there. Chest freezer there, another fridge over there, so we've done a lot of upgrades in the last few years. We're trying to get rid of this. This is a gas burner stove, but we're trying to move to induction, so we just got to make sure we have enough solar power, good lithium batteries, make sure it's all hunky-dory before we can rip this thing out. But we want to go to full off-grid induction cooking as soon as we can.
We too want to rip this thing out. It's the only propane thing on this boat, and it's a pain in the butt to have to source the propane, store the propane, and keep this boat safe from leaking propane. But unfortunately, that's gonna have to wait until after we fix our solar and battery situation. As for fridges, we've got these. This is the original fridge in this 2013 boat. That's like 10-year-old fridge that leaks like crazy. It's off right now. We used to have another one right here and a cabinet to go with it. I've torn both of those things out because it leaks so bad the wood rotted. We're gonna be replacing that fridge over there with a Dometic that I have over there in the van, and we'll figure out how to rebuild that cabinet. That's not even half of our fridges, guys. We've got these chest fridges, also freezers. Right now this one's set in fridge mode. It's 100 liters Dometic. I've got another one that's currently in the van that's gonna go right here. That's a fridge and freezer. Once we start cruising, the chair will go. Those 2 fridges will perimeter the table on these 2 edges and serve as benches for the kids because we have a lot of them. That way Mary and I can enjoy the soft cushioned area. That's not all. We've got another 2 chest fridges that we're using at the house right now. An old Dometic and an Engel. I have no idea where all those fridges are gonna go, but number of fridges may be the one thing that Epic has over Parlay. Parlay's got 1, 2, 3, 4 fridges, and we've got 6. Point Epic.
This is where the sushi grab bag. Sushi grab bag. These were meant to be for the grab bag. But this is the snacks on this one. That's all the snacks. And this one's just like random stuff.
Got some seaweed, some bran flakes, some fake soy meat,
fake potato.
breakfast stuff on this side, including coffee, cups on this one. This is the spice cabinet. We've got the same exact pantry, minus the nice pull-out shelf on Parlay. This is where we keep all of our sauces and spices. Fun fact, all of the cabinets up here and over there and the drawers are set up exactly the same as they are on Parlay. Dishes on the 3rd one down, utensils on the 2nd, miscellaneous stuff on the top. That way, no matter which boat we're on, we know exactly where everything is. This right here, this is my secret weapon for marathon editing. I've been cranking out these videos fast lately, despite the fact that I'm a master procrastinator. I've been taking these 2-ounce shots called Magic Mind. They've got all sorts of natural adaptogens and nootropics that help with focus and concentration. One of them is called Bacopa Maniri, which actually boosts memory and cognitive function while reducing mental fatigue. If you're struggling with focus or have a bit of brain fog, check out Magic Mind at the link below and use code DAVIDS for 56% off your first subscription for the next 10 days. You've got 60 days to see if Magic Mind works for you, and if it doesn't, they'll give you all your money back.
These are our fruit and vegetable hammocks. It's just a way of storing those items without them getting all rotten and in the way. I don't know, what do you say about a fruit hammock? They're pretty sweet. And we got 2 of them.
They are pretty sweet, and we've got 2 of them as well, except for one has been hanging outside for like the past year and falling apart. The other one here, it holds my magic mind. Just kidding, it doesn't ever hold my magic mind. I just put that there.
This is the nav desk. If it's a full-on storm, because it's a flybridge that's really exposed, we come down here and we can navigate. We can use the autopilot. We can see what the wind's doing. We got a chart plotter here. This is another area where we can helm the boat or drive the boat when it's a bit gnarly up top.
Our nav station, on the other hand, is bare. We've got this one VHF radio and this broken wind display and this Pioneer car stereo. I bet you haven't heard the name Pioneer in a while. It's even got the detachable head so no one can steal it in case we get broken into. Bungs go in here. So bungs are for if one of your through hull starts leaking or breaks off. You find the right size. These are all massive ones. Here are some smaller ones, and you shove it into the hole. It starts to swell a little bit and literally seals off all of the water from coming in. Underneath, we get some random lights and lighters. Now, let's go check out where Parlay stores all their electronic and camera gear over there.
So this is part of our electronics corner here. Can't really find anything. It's just a pile of shit here. A few drones back there. The world's brightest flashlight. GoPros, batteries, cameras, you name it. We got it.
This is also where we store all of our electronics and camera gear as well. It's just hard to organize in there because it's like a cave and it's hard to reach in. Epic, on the other hand, has this epic charging station with 33 ports of USB and USB-C. It can literally charge every single thing we own at the same time. Up here in the cabinets, we copied Parlay and built a shelf here so we can have not 1, but 2 levels of clutter. Up here, some power tools. This countertop right here is kind of turned into my tool organization center. We've been working on the engines. This is the cap to the heat exchanger. And this is the filter to a fuel polisher we're gonna build.
This is the main switchboard of the boat. So most of the boat runs on 12 volt DC power. That's all of the lights, the fans, the navigation equipment and whatnot. But we've also got a big inverter which turns 12 volt into 110 volt. That's where we can charge all of this kind of stuff. Use kettles, toasters, induction cookers, blenders, all of that household stuff that you guys have, we have as well, up to 3 kilowatts.
We're on the starboard aft, which is the back right side of the boat. This is Jamie's room. We got Vince, the other Patreon, that's also sharing it with him. But Jamie's always sleeping outside on that sun pad. So Vince has this room all to himself. This cabin has 2 of the most important systems on the boat, the electrical and also Watermaker. Let's take a look. Look at all that Victron and Battleborn. All right, there's 10 100 amp hour Battleborn batteries connected through these Lynx distributor panels. Over here to the left is a 1000 amp shunt that tracks all of the power going in and out of the batteries. On this side, we've got 4 Victron solar controllers. 2 of them control the panels on the solar arch, and the other 2 control the ones on the solar hardtop. Here are the positive and negative bus bars for the solar controllers, and this is their backup Multiplex 3000 inverter, which can power up to 3000 watts. The primary one was mounted right here, but it was fried the last time they got hit by lightning. And just below is the Serbo GX, which links all of this gear together and displays it on a screen in the salon. I'll show you that in a bit. This is gonna be a quick comparison because we have the bare minimum. We've got 2 Amazon knockoff lithium batteries, a cheap Renogy DC to DC battery charger so we can charge the lithiums with the engine alternator, and then this Progressive Dynamics AC to DC charger so we can charge the lithiums when we're connected to shore power. Everything's wired right, but not really secured. You can see this shunt is just sitting here, and then I'm using helmets to prevent the batteries from sliding around. For the solar, we've got these 2 solar controllers here and here, both of which were hand-me-downs. This one is literally hanging by a screw, and it still has fiberglass dust on it. These guys constantly convert the power from the solar panels to the correct voltage to charge the batteries. It is empty in here. We don't even have an inverter aboard, but we will. We've got 8 Battleborn Game Changers, which are 270 amp hours each, sitting on our stairs at home next to a pair of Victron Quattro 5000 inverters for a combined output of 10,000 watts. And along this front wall right here, we'll put 3 massive Victron solar controllers. Each cabin has a small closet as well. This one is currently holding 216 eggs.
Have you seen all the bread? This bread lasts like 6 weeks. I don't know what's in it, but it's still fresh. so much food.
So how often do you turn these eggs?
Every 3 days, like they recommend, turn the eggs every few days and it'll keep them longer. There we go. Just turn them. That's the 4th time we've turned them since we've been out here.
When there's 8 people aboard, you've got to stash food pretty much everywhere. Jamie's got some very nice taste in hats. All 4 cabins have their own bathroom with a manual toilet, which just means you have to pump it to flush. We're tied on toilets because both of ours suck. Look at this. Broken. One day we will have electric heads, which just means we won't have to pump 20 times every single time we go to the bathroom. It's got a built-in blender that macerates your business and then pumps it all down with a push of a button to the black water tank. Some of these 450s have teak right here, but ours don't, and neither does Parlay. We've got a nice sunroof right here, so you always get a fresh breeze when you're showering. All the bathrooms on Parlay have a separate shower to keep things dry. This panel is what controls the Seawater Pro Watermaker under the floor in front of Jamie's bed. Here's the high pressure pump and dual full-size membranes, which turns the ocean into the purest possible drinking water at 40 gallons per hour. And that's what makes all of our water on board. Back on Epic, we too have a Seawater Pro Watermaker, except for it's portable. It's built into this Pelican case, which means I can bring it to places. But it only makes about 14 gallons of water per hour at about 600 watts.
Okay, it's off eco mode now.
The generator is supplying 110 volt to the inverter, the multi-plus inverter. It's putting in 1600 watts of power through the inverter to charge the batteries. That's giving us a net gain of 80 amps into our battery bank. Our battery bank is 1000 amp hours. If they were at 0%, that would take like 12 hours to charge using this method. But they're at 48 and I want to get them up to like 60, and that'll get us through the night and through the morning, and we'll figure out tomorrow if we're getting sun or not.
We have one of these too. It's just not connected yet. Eventually we'll figure out a place to mount it like Parlay over here. We gotta install the batteries and inverters first before that thing's gonna be useful. We also have a generator. It's not the nice Honda, it's a cheaper Generac. The carburetor is currently gummed up so it doesn't start. We'll have to pull it apart and clean it.
Welcome to the girls' room.
As you can see, the girls' room is the cleanest room. They even got a little rug in front of the bathroom.
This is my side and this is Katie's side. We sleep with our heads over here, feet over there, because it's wider. If you want to separate it, you can. So like you can whip this out, take this part out, and it can be, you can put wood in the middle. This pillow's here because we sometimes have wrestling matches during the night. It keeps us a little separated. Underwater flashlight just in case we go under. Got my life jacket right here in my closet. That's very neat. Ciao.
Tethers.
And obviously we have some food under here just in case we get hungry during the night.
Every cabin doubles as food storage. There is food tucked away all over the place. We'll have Katie show you that because she's in charge of Veggie Check every day.
But yeah, that's the girls' room.
All right, bye. Have fun in the bathroom. Our port forward cabin is storage at the moment. It only has some walls, but we do have a dryer, which Parlay doesn't. It's called a Morris, and it actually pulls a vacuum when it's drying, so it can dry a couple of shirts in about 15 minutes. We don't have a washer though, so we still have to do that by hand. And these here are the bulkheads that I rebuilt with my bare hands. As you can see, we're not exactly finished, but once we start cruising, we'll start working on closing everything up. Eventually, this entire cabin will be empty, and we'll build a quadruple bunk. Imagine a wall from ceiling to floor, and then another one going horizontally across. 4 quadrants like those Japanese pod hotels. Each kid will have their own private quadrant, and maybe even some sliding doors so they can see each other and hang out. Let's go back to the same cabin in Parlay because Katie's gonna show us where she stashed all of the long-term food.
We wanted to keep most of the fresh vegetables easily accessible, but in dark and airy places. Right here at the foot of our bed is where you'll find cabbage, garlic, and in these drawers we have...
Whoa! Potato.
We have more potatoes and onions. Lots of onions.
And this is the tedious process we have to go through anytime we have to replenish. Katie's awesome for showing us all this. Look at how much we had to take apart just to get under her bed.
Here we have lots of leche, milk, and lots of different cans. We took off all the labels and then put C for chicken, DT for diced tomatoes. This one, we got some cereal, some peanut butter, some oats,
more PB&J, Parmesan. Let's go see where else you have food stored.
Under Steven's bed.
This is the starboard forward cabin, the right front one. Oh my gosh, big stash. Oh God, we've got coffee, more coffee. And look at all that beer, rice, dog food. Oh my gosh, the whole bottom full of beer. Steven's gonna be like, what happened to my bed? I don't know, Steven. I don't know what you're talking about. And this is our starboard forward cabin. Also storage, also in a shambles, but at least this one has a mattress. We actually went sailing with some friends and their 3 kids slept in this room. They were falling down into the hulls and they tore up my plastic sheeting. This bulkhead was actually the worst of all. It was the one that was curved in an S shape right here. I envisioned this cabin to be our office / studio. We'll have to tear out the bed as well and have a desk running the entire length of that wall. Monitor arms mounted up there, microphone stands coming off the side so we can film, edit, and do voiceovers all in here, which means we'll probably need some sound panels just surrounding the room. Down there on that side, we'll probably build like a storage cabinet of some kind, and that's where all our camera gear and computer stuff will go. I can almost feel it right now, sitting on a rolly computer chair, moving up and down this desk, going to the computer, to the mics, to the camera. Maybe we'll do some nice lighting here that we can move around. Stephen McLeod, tell us about your room.
Starboard forward, real noisy when you're beaten into the wind. Other than that, works great.
We got some toilet paper storage up on the top, toilet paper storage up on the right, Cheerio storage right down here.
I sleep with my head up that direction. You're supposed to sleep with your head here, but I can't figure out how to get out of the damn bed without somersaulting out.
So Steven and I actually share this cabin, but since he's such an awesome Patreon for our channel and also Parlay, I decided to let him have the whole cabin to himself. Let's go outside so I can show you the best part of this boat. It's where we start every day with our morning coffee and end it with epic sundowners. This is the Flybridge. This Flybridge sets this catamaran apart from pretty much every other catamaran in its class. This is the only boat that's got a place where the entire crew can sit together and drive at the same time. All of the lines, all of the winches can be controlled right up here.
This Flybridge is a game changer because you just get this whole separate area. You could do charters with it, so the crew could eat up here and the guests could eat down there, and it's fully separate. It was one of the main reasons I bought it, was just to have an extra space. If you got the sport version, you're sitting here and your bums are in everyone's face, like right in that same space. So love the Flybridge. I recommend it.
I recommend it too because it's by far my favorite part of the boat. Look at how many people can sit across this bench and sail this boat together. And then even more people can lay out on these super thick cushions up here. Okay, we definitely beat Parlay's cushions because theirs are super thin foam. And these are like a foot thick. We've got a massive solar arch here that holds 4 big solar panels. We got good old Maritime over there. That's our Starlink. And what Jamie's standing on, that's the diving board. Run, jump, swan dive off. Super fun. We don't have a diving board and we barely have any solar panels, but we built this thing so it can fit 5 450 watt panels. In the meantime, we've got these sweet flexible panels from Sun-Powered Yachts that we can mount wherever there's deck space. And then we've got 4 of these even more flexible solar panels that I'm gonna figure out how to mount to that sail. So make sure you subscribe if you wanna see that crazy video. And then eventually we'll build the same solar hardtop that covers the entire Flybridge, just like this one on Parlay. Here we've got the Flybridge hardtop. And their hardtop is epic. It completely shades the Flybridge. You can stand and walk on it to access the sail bag. Combined with the solar arch, they have about 3,000 watts, which can make about 15 kilowatts of power per day. And the craziest part is they built the whole thing from scratch. You gotta watch your head. I hit my head on this every single time. Just in front of the helm, there's a huge sun pad where you can lay out. And then in front of that, we've got the mast, just a little drop down. We've got the forward cockpit area, also the trampolines. Unfortunately, you can't really hang out on the trampolines during a passage because the water splashes up. You get wet. Our trampolines have a ton of holes in them. My entire leg actually slipped through this one once when we were sailing. Parlay's nets, on the other hand, are bomb-proof. They're made of UV inert thread and are fully reinforced. They're from this company called Multi-Hull Nets, which we've been talking to. So soon we shall have those same sweet trampolines. In the meantime, only the kids get on these trampolines. Over here, we've got 3 lockers that we basically shove anything that will fit inside. And that's the same on our boat and Parlay. Scuba stuff, shop vac, wires, vacuum hose, fins and gas cans. I know this boat is filthy, but we're gonna give it a deep clean before we move aboard. Let's head over to the rear cockpit now. They have a life raft, we have a life raft. They have a backup life raft, and we have one too. They have a grill, I've got a broken grill. This is their dinghy. This is our dinghy. Same exact dinghy. What we don't have is this epic fish cleaning station. Sweet bench that I'm gonna put on my boat as well. And directly above, surfboards, fishing poles, and other miscellaneous items. Yeah, we don't have one of those. But what we do have is an incredibly messy cockpit area that's turned into my workshop. As I try to fix this exhaust manifold, it's corroded so bad that the caps no longer seal. We tried to use JB Weld, but look, it just literally flakes off. I'm desperate to figure this out because the new one of these is 1,500 bucks. Aside from that, this is our outdoor sitting area. You eat out here when it's not raining. It's a fun place to hang out. But right now it's storing our foam floating chairs and one of those super flexible solar panels. We've got a couple of these Yeti knockoff coolers that we use to store drinks. I usually leave those there, and we also use them to collect rainwater because that roof right there drains right at that point. Under here, we've got the primary tool storage, and that's where Parlay keeps all their tools as well. Except for ours actually pokes all the way into the cabin interior because I haven't finished that wall yet. These are our sugar scoops here and here. We're in the process of extending them 2 feet. Why 2 feet, you ask? Because Parlays are 1.5 feet, and we have to be longer. According to Colin, the extended sugar scoops are probably one of the best upgrades that he did on the boat. It extends all the way out to my foot. You can fish, set up dive gear, haul groceries, or just hang out and have a sundowner. I'm very jealous of their sugar scoops. As you can see, their rear cockpit is a tad cleaner and a bit more organized. Now let me show you my bed.
Show us your bed.
This is my bed. I take this, fill it up every night for the arm room. Take this towel, I unfold. There's a clean side and a dirty side because this is where the dogs sit and there's wet spots. Every single night. Please don't breathe on me. Pillow, Parlay pillow. You can get it on the merch store.
Lucy, we have so many pillows.
I got a pillow.
We sleep
Parlay pillow.
with 4 pillows.
And then blanket. Boom. I'm in bed. This is how I sleep.
That blanket smells good.
Under my bed on Epic here, we've got bits and pieces of the cabinet and walls left over from when we tore apart the cabin. Oh, and a bunch of beer too. Under my bed on Parlay, food. So much food.
Oil, hot sauce, milk, pesto.
And last but not least, we've got the captain's quarters on Parlay, which, can you believe it? I forgot to film. All I have is some footage of when we were doing confessionals halfway through the trip.
I have to kill Katie.
Getting close to the end.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Whatever the hell is inside a tampon.
Murder him with a camera.
It's become life.
Fear not, I will give you a tour of our captain's quarters. First thing you'll notice, yeah, there's a bunk spanning the entire hull. That's where 3 of the 4 kids sleep. The baby sleeps down here with us. This is actually pretty spacious for us. We're used to living in a Ford Transit van, not even the biggest one. All 6 of us can fit in there just fine. Since our 4 cabins are out of commission, we had to fit the entire family in here so our friends could take the other side. It's actually pretty useful. The kids climb in and out of that hatch right there. There's a nice shade so the sun doesn't shine in your eyes in the morning. But yeah, we're still missing walls back there and here. All of that will be covered up eventually. And that's the Parlay versus Epic boat tour.
Subscribe to Dave so you can watch him cross the ocean.